Hello, and welcome to our course on Exploratory Data Analysis with Power BI. In this class, we are going to study data visualization and dashboard design using the Power BI desktop. In the Power BI desktop visualization and dashboard design class, we work with the Superstore sales dataset. We created a report, dashboard, we published it in the Power BI My Workspace. And this is exactly the application that I'm going to work now in the Power BI service. So let's first have a look at My Workspace here. When I click in My Workspace, I can see the information about all the apps that I have available here for me. And I am going to the report about the Superstore sales dashboard. When I click on this option, I load the report that I created there and that I published it in my workspace, my Power BI workspace. And what we are going to do now that we did not see when we initially explored the Power BI service is this option Edit here. This option is only available for the reports and when you enter the report through that menu that I showed you previously. So I have to come in this menu here, and here I have a list of all the files that I have available in my workspace, and I choose the report that I want to work on. When I'm here, if I click Edit, then I can see now the same menus that I used to have while I was in the Power BI desktop, such as filters, all the visualization tools, and the menu with the data available for me. Let's minimize this, let's keep visualization open, and remember that here we are working with the two data sets in our data model. So we have the original data set for the Superstore sales data, and we also have the information about the discount, the profit, the quantity, the row ID, which is the variable that allows me to connect these two tables in my data model, and we also have the order ID. Okay, so as I am already in the editor mode, I am already able to create new reports here, to create my dashboard. And I want to remind you that for Power BI, each one of these pages here is considered a report. As a concept, this is the general concept of a dashboard, but the dashboard here in Power BI is a set of visuals that you take from the reports and you pin them, creating a new screen that is a dashboard that shows some specific and usually macro information and visuals that you want to detach in your project. So this is our page one, which is our report one. I'm going to rename it report one. And now I am going to create a new page, which is going to be our report two. Now that we created our new page or new report, we are going to add some visuals to it. Let's first try the multi-row card with sales, discount, and profit. So let's take here the multi-row card. Okay, and now let's add the variables or the fields that you want in this card. Let's go first to sales. This is from one of our tables, sheet 1. And let's use the discount and also the profit. We can keep these 3 in a row if we want. Okay, so let's add now some more visuals. One of the things that we haven't discussed yet, and it's very important that we go through that, is the use of the descriptive measures. And to do that, we are going to add a matrix here. So that's our matrix. And one way we can do to illustrate the use of the descriptive measures here in the Power BI service is by taking different measures over the variable sales, which has been our target variable for a long time. And we can take them over the years. So let's take the variable sales. Values. Let's use that sequence that we usually use when we are doing the descriptive measures. So let's take first the minimum value of sales. Let's add sales here again. And now let's take the maximum value of sales. And then let's go to the central tendency measures. Let's take first the average. Now we are going to include the median. Let's take now the variability measures. Let's start with the variance. And now the standard deviation. Okay, so we have our main descriptive statistic measures here for the variable sales. And let's take it over time. Order date. We can keep only, let's remove day, let's remove month if we want, let's keep only the year and the quarter. Right, so here we have the information, we have the descriptive measures about the variable sales from mean, max, average, median, variance, and standard deviation. To continue, we can include now a pie chart. So let's try a pie chart here. In this pie chart, we are going to show, for example, we can show the count of segment by category. We can try anything we want virtually. So let's take segment. And let's take the category. So now I have the count of segments by category. Let us include one last graph here. How about the tree map? As you can see, while I was in that graph, if I keep the tree map, I just changed one graph by another, but I want to keep the pie chart. So I'll take the tree map here. And in this tree map, I'm going to, let's count the number of orders. So the number of orders, and let's count it by the categories and subcategories. Okay, so let's go to category and subcategory. Order ID is actually here in values. The category is going to be here. And subcategory is going to be here in the details. Okay, now we have the information that I want to have. Note that it's very important, the place where you put the information here in terms of category details values, because if you just drag them into the graph, you may get the wrong placement for each one of them. Let's reorganize here this report, place them like this. I think it's going to be slightly better. And this table here and this one. Okay, and then just as we did with the Power BI desktop, we can add a number of effects here if we want. For example, in Power BI desktop, we added some effects, for example, shadows. So here we have a shadow. As you can see, we cannot read all the names here because of the way the tree map was organized, but then you can, fix this by resizing. With this resizing, we can get everything here in this picture. We can also add, if we want, the volume of sales, the count. So here we have the volume of sales, and here we have sum of sales in monetary value. So I'm just trying to include more descriptive measures here so that this table becomes wider. This is not really beautiful, but the idea here is just to illustrate to you how you can create a new report in the Power BI service. It's pretty much the same way that it works with the Power BI desktop. One last thing that I want to show you is that you can, now that we have this two reports. So this is the report that I created in the Power BI desktop and that I published it in my workspace. And this is the report that I just created here with you, including a description of how to do the summary measures here in the Power BI service. And one last thing that I want to show you is how to create a dashboard out of the reports. If you remember, dashboard here is a summarized way of presenting the information, and the way that you create here is by pinning the graphs, the visuals that you want from the reports into the dashboard. For example, let's say that we want in our dashboard, we want this visual. So I'm going to click here, pin visual. Okay, and it's going to ask if I want to do this in an existing dashboard. In this case, this is my dashboard, or if I want to create a new dashboard. So I'm going to create a new dashboard. And now it's pinned to the new dashboard. So I don't want to go to the dashboard now. I want to add some more things. So let's pin this visual in the new dashboard. And let's go to this second report. Let's pin this table to the new dashboard as well. And finally, let's pin this visual to the new dashboard. Okay, now I'm going to the new dashboard. I want to save the changes. It's creating the new dashboard, and here is my new dashboard. So as we can see, the position of the tiles was predefined, and here I have that same functionality that I can use this AI tool of Power BI in order to ask questions about the data. When I click there, okay, they have some suggestions of questions that I can ask to my data. For example, what's the average discount? You can try sort sheet 1 by country. Okay, so it works directly with the data table. So let's exit Q&A. Let's get back to our dashboard, and we can edit this dashboard. We can edit the theme. We can work with the mobile layout. So we don't really have the chance to change. We can change the layout by simply as you can see, this interface is more dynamic. When I move the tiles, it restructures the whole interface for me. So here I have this stack bar chart, these horizontal cards, multiple cards, and the map, and now this table with the summary measures for the sales. Well, that's what I wanted to show you today. Thank you for your attention, and see you in our next class.